Smash the like button if you think that Hit Row was an awful garbage faction.
Can somebody please tell Isaiah Swerve Scott, do not do interviews with DJ Vlad. It's not going to end well. He's going to ruin your rep with these dumbass interviews. He's coming off as a whiny crybaby. This guy thinks he's Roman Reigns. He thinks he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He thinks he's Cody Rhodes. I'm like, bro, let's go back to your career in NXT. You was not that good, man. Let's speak facts. Isaiah Swerve Scott was not that good. This man, he's letting his fame in All Elite Wrestling go to his head. Bro, what part of this don't you understand? All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling sucks. You are a big fish in a small pond. If you was on Raw, SmackDown, you in that mid-card, bro. If you was on Raw and SmackDown, you would be in that mid-card. That's facts. Hell, I don't think Isaiah Swerve Scott would be on a level of LA Cosplay. He is so passive aggressive, right? In terms of, he keeps on saying, oh, I'm cool with Triple H. I'm like, nah, you are not. Because every fucking interview, you always talk shit about Triple H in a passive aggressive way. I don't know what's in the water in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, but it seems like everybody who goes to that shit company, they become passive aggressive and always taking shots at the World Wrestling Federation and Triple H. Look here, man. The only reason you are over in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling is because it's an indie audience. That's about it, bro. It's an indie audience that's been following you for the past 15 years. So please, don't let it go to your head. In my eyes, you are still Isaiah Swerve Scott. You are still a mid-card guy. You are in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, the same company who can't even crack over 700,000. The same company who cannot even beat out NXT. The same brand that you came from. I'm like, man, he's trying to come across as Triple H is racist, right? It's like, bro, just say it. Stop being passive aggressive. Just say it, right? Because every fucking interview, he always says, oh, Triple H was holding me back. I told Triple H, hey, yo, man, I want to be one of your guys. But Triple H said, nah, I don't know. I'm like, bro, you are coming across as Triple H might be racist based on your logic and your dumbass verbiage. It's not coming off well. You sound like a bitter ex, right? He sounds like a bitter ex. I'm like, bro, you was not that good when you was in NXT. What about Shit Row? What about Shithead Row? That was an awful try-hard faction. What was your gimmick? What was your character? I don't know. Okay, you call yourself a rapper, but hold on, you never rapped your own theme song. So what was your character? So how are you a rapper? That makes no sense. Imagine John Cena calling himself a rapper, but he don't rap his own theme song. That would make no sense. So what was your character? Like I said, Vince McMahon tried to give you a chance on the main roster, but the audience gave two shits about Hit Row. Nobody cared about Ashanti the Adonis. Nobody cared about B-Fab. Nobody cared about Top Dollar. You was in a nowhere faction that nobody cared about. But you want to blame Triple H? Nah, bruh. It was your idea to put together Hit Row. Those were your people. Let's be real. When Isaiah Swerve Scott was in NXT, he was not that over. Let's be real, he was not that over. Hold on, let's go back to his first year in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. Still, he was not that over. Isaiah Swerve Scott was not that over until he feuded with Adam Heyman Page. Let's speak facts. Isaiah Swerve Scott was not that over even before his feud with Adam Heyman Page. That feud put him on the map. Before that feud, he was boring. The fans gave him no reaction until his feud with Adam Heyman Page. But ever since that feud, yes, he has been mega popular, mega over. But before then, you was boring. Nobody cared about Swerve versus Keith Lee. Nobody cared about your faction. Nobody cared about that bootleg Brock Lesnar. Nobody cared about the other tattooed boy to fuck, right? Nobody cared about your faction. Who else? It was like, I think it was fucking Brian Cage or somebody else. Bruh, that was a boring faction that nobody cared about. Hence why it's no longer a faction. So, I don't get it. The fame has gone to his head, man. You gotta watch this cringe DJ Vlad interview. Holy shit. This guy is an egomaniac. He thinks he's King Booker. He thinks he's fucking JYD. He thinks he's fucking D'Lo Brown. Like, bro, you ain't that good, man. Calm down. You are in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, a company that's not doing all that well. If you was on SmackDown, you would be a fucking mid-carder with Andrade. You would be in a feud with Carmelo Hayes, okay? Let's be real. He would be in a feud with, I don't know, Ludwig Kaiser on Raw. Like, bro, you ain't no main eventer. Triple H did not hold you back. Hell, I don't think Isaiah Swerve Scott is better than Montez Ford. So hold on, man. Like, you are not that good. You are good for All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, right? That's your pond. That's your niche, right? That's your market. The indie hardcore sicko market. But, bruh, let's go back to your run on SmackDown. A casual audience, right? A casual audience did not fuck with you on SmackDown. So what does that tell you? How was that Triple H's fault? That the crowd had no connection with you. Nobody cared about Hit Row. That was an awful faction. Whose fault was that? Triple H gave you the keys to have your own faction. I'm like, bro, Triple H gave you the North American Championship. And Carmelo Hayes, I think he beat you for that championship. So I'm like, bro, you ain't that good. You're just a mid-card guy being pushed as a main eventer in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. Let's not get it twisted. Stop saying, oh, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, they dropped the ball on Isaiah Swerve Scott. No, they did not. He was just fine. It's just the audience gave two shits about his character. What was his character? I don't know. He was a rapper, but you did not rap your own theme song. So how are you a fucking rapper? Since day one, I never said to myself, you know what? Isaiah Swerve Scott should be a main eventer in NXT. Hell no, I never said that. I never said that Isaiah Swerve Scott should be a main eventer in NXT. Hell no, I said Angel Garza, hell yeah, main eventer. But not Isaiah Swerve Scott. He has something missing. He's not Booker T. He's not D'Lo Brown. He's not Mark Henry. He's not Kofi Kingston. There's something missing with Isaiah Swerve Scott. He only works for All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, kinda like New Jack, right? The only place that made sense for New Jack was XPW and ECW. That's Isaiah Swerve Scott. You only work well with All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, that audience. The indie, hardcore, sicko audience. But the casuals do not fuck with you. That's why Vince McMahon released you. The audience had no connection with Isaiah Swerve Scott on SmackDown. Just like Big Booty Timeless Tony Storm. They had no connection with Tony Storm on SmackDown. But I'm tired of this narrative. And guys like him, they push this false narrative that Triple H is a racist. He's not a fucking racist. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence, dog? Jade Cargill, she's being pushed to the fucking moon. What about Bianca Belair? She's being pushed to the fucking moon. Hell, she has a championship match at WrestleMania. So what proof do you have? Dog, there's not that many black male main eventers on Raw or SmackDown that you can push. Okay, tell me, who should Triple H push as a main eventer as a black man? Not Melo Hayes. What about Apollo Crews? Hell no. Tell me, not Montez Ford? Hell no. He's a fucking tag team wrestler. So, who should Triple H push as a black guy main eventer? Maybe Trick Williams, or maybe Femi, Starks, maybe, but there's not that many. So where's your proof? Where's your evidence that Triple H is a fucking racist? That's a lazy talking point. It's like, bro, not that many people fit the World Wrestling Federation. That doesn't mean Triple H is a racist. I watched every fucking episode of the Black and Gold NXT. Isaiah Swerve Scott had no connection with that audience. Let that sink in. Isaiah Swerve Scott had no connection with the Black and Gold NXT audience. You can make a serious argument that Patrick Clark was better than Isaiah Swerve Scott. So hell no, man. You can't give me that bullshit, man. Triple H really pushed Patrick Clark. He was a huge fan of Patrick Clark. Bro, you was not at that level of a Velveteen Dream. Let's be real. Patrick Clark had a character he was mega over. You was not that over. Hell, even in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, is Isaiah Swerve Scott really over? Or is he just a theme song? Because in my opinion, I think he's just a theme song. I believe that Isaiah Swerve Scott is Jey Uso if Jey was a better fake pro wrestler. Let's be real. He's just an entrance. He's just a theme song. Somebody tell Swerve, please stop doing interviews on DJ Vlad. It's not coming off well. You come across as a left-wing nutjob who's crying about fucking race. Oh, woe was me. It's because I was black. I'm like, bruh, what about Montez Ford? He's on TV every week. So please, man, don't give me that bullshit. What about Carmelo Hayes? He's on TV every week. Don't give me that bullshit. What about Jay Cargill? What about Naomi? What about Bianca Belair? You cannot give me that bullshit. Stop crying about fucking race, right? Look at Booker T, King Booker, 2-time Hall of Famer. He never cried about race. And guess what, bitch? It paid off. He's a household name. You will never be a household name, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Years later, this man, he's still crying over the fact that Booker T never pushed back at Vince McMahon using the N-word in that segment. I'm like, bro, it's fake pro wrestling. Who cares? It's just a segment. Let's move on. Booker T gave 2 shits about that segment when Vince McMahon dropped the N-word. Listen, who cares? Vince McMahon never said ER. He said the other N-word. He never said ER. These are just bad clips, bad interviews that I'm seeing of Isaiah Swerve Scott. He comes across as very Sasha Banks light. You never drawed not one dime in this business. Nobody draws anything in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. Calm down, man. Calm down your fucking ego. You're not Kofi. You're not Xavier Woods. You're not D'Lo Brown. You ain't Big E. Who are you? You are a mid-card guy being pushed as a main eventer in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. Nobody knew your character when you was in the World Wrestling Federation. That's why you was not over. Nobody knew who the fuck you were. Everybody hated Hit Row. You came across as a try-hard guy who was trying to be a rapper. You had no connection in the World Wrestling Federation. He needs to stop doing these interviews. He needs to stop doing DJ Vlad interviews. Nobody likes DJ Vlad. Hell, he's the reason why I don't like Michael J. White. Let's be real. DJ Vlad is the reason why I don't like Michael J. White. Because all he does is poke the bear and he makes his guests say dumb shit that they will live to regret years later. I will never forget that tournament. It was a breakout tournament. It was ACH, Swerve, Bronson Reed, Dexter Loomis, Angel Garza. To me, Angel Garza was the most impressive out of that whole tournament. And I think it was Cameron Grimes. Yeah, I believe that Angel Garza was the most impressive out of that whole tournament. Not so much Isaiah Swerve Scott. But this guy thinks, man, Triple H was holding me back just because I was a mega star on the indies. I'm like, nigga, that's the indies. This is the big leagues. Nobody cares about the indies, right? Did the audience give you a pop? Did the audience give you good reactions? No, they did not. Nobody gave 2 shits about Swerve's house. That's the indies. But it works in All Elite Wrestling because that's an indie hardcore mark audience who knows who you are, and they think you was held down in the World Wrestling Federation. So yes, they like you, but not Raw, not SmackDown. Nobody gave 2 shits about your indie rep. We cared about, okay, who is this guy? Nobody knew who Isaiah Swerve Scott was. Hell, you can make a serious argument that Trick Williams, he's also better than Isaiah Swerve Scott. Hell, you can make the argument that Javon Evans might be better than Isaiah Swerve Scott. You can make a serious argument that Ahmed Johnson was better than Isaiah Swerve Scott. I don't get it, man. I don't know why Isaiah Swerve Scott thinks he's some megastar. Man, this is delusional. He's the male Sasha Banks, man. He is delusional, man. He thinks Triple H dropped the ball on him just because Con Man is giving him a monster push. Nigga, that don't mean shit. That's All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. They need you. They don't need you on Raw, bro. That's the point that I'm trying to make. They don't need you on SmackDown, but they need you on Dynamite, a show that's fucking dying. Right? So his ego is inflated. He thinks he's The Rock. Let's go back to year 1 of Isaiah Swerve Scott in All Elite Wrestling. He was boring. In year 2, he was boring. He had a boring ass faction with Brian Cage and that bootleg Brock Lesnar. That was a boring faction that nobody cared about. But for some strange reason, this man thinks he's some megastar. Like, man, the entitlement. This man has an indie entitlement. He thinks just because he was over on the indies, he thinks he's a main eventer. That is entitlement. Look here, bro. Just because you're a main eventer on a weak-ass roster, like All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, that doesn't mean that Shawn Michaels and Triple H dropped the ball on you. That don't mean shit. That's AEW. Who cares? Okay, yeah, you're a star on that weak-ass roster who needs you. Yeah, you're a big fish in a small pond. Calm down. You are not Booker T. Keep your mouth shut about Booker T. In terms of, he was over in 3 companies. TNA, the World Wrestling Federation, WCW. You are only over in small pond All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. That don't mean shit. Nobody cares about MLW. That's a small company. I'm talking about the big leagues. His character would not work on Raw or SmackDown. You fit very, very well on Dynamite, Collision, etc. That's your company. Because, like I said, that's a indie sicko mark company. Their fan base loves you. But it took them 2 years to love you. Like I said, you was boring before Adam Hangman Page. You was boring before that feud. Let's be real, nobody cared about Keith Lee versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. I hate all these left-wing nutjob beta males. That's all you do to win a weak-ass argument. Oh, call Triple H a racist. How? Why? That's how you know you lost the argument. Where you give me no facts and evidence, but you want to call Triple H a fucking racist just because he's not pushing your favorite black jobbers. Well, yeah, let's call Triple H racist just because he's not pushing boring ass Apollo Crews. Okay. But he was not pushing Baron Corbin. Is he black? Is Cameron Grimes black? I gotta go back and check. Is Austin Theory black? Is Grayson Waller black? I gotta go back and check. What about Bo Dallas? Where's he at? Is Bo Dallas black? I gotta go back and check. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? Triple H gives 2 shits about your skin color. He cares about money. Are you making him that young moolah? No, you are not. He cares about who's the most over on this roster. If you ain't doing it, he's not going to push you. He cares about talent, not your fucking race. This guy said, oh, Triple H made sure that other guys were bigger than me on the card. Bruh, that's not true. At that time, you was not at the level of Adam Coleslaw. You was not at the level of Matt Riddle. You was a low-tier mid-card guy. You was not a main eventer at that point in time. Let's speak facts. His mindset is, hey, I was a big-time star when I was in MLW, so that means I deserve a main event push on the black and gold NXT. Nah, bitch, that's not how that works. But if you want to call Triple H a racist, hold on. What about Patrick Clark? Patrick Clark was a megastar when he was on a black and gold NXT until Patrick Clark self-destructed. That's what it was. Patrick Clark stopped his own push. That was not on Triple H. That was not on Shawn Michaels. That was on Patrick Clark. Patrick Clark ruined Patrick Clark. Patrick Clark was supposed to be where Trick Williams is right now. Trick Williams, he's a modern day Patrick Clark. That's where Patrick Clark was supposed to be at. Trick Williams, that level. Listen, Isaiah Swerve Scott was not at the level of Patrick Clark. Hell no, not even close. But for some strange reason, this guy thinks he's Sasha Banks. He thinks he's a fucking megastar just because that brain dead idiot Conman is giving him a monster push on the B show, on the C show. Because hell, I think All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, that might be the C show compared to the World Wrestling Federation and TNA. I think TNA is ahead of All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling right now as we speak. It's all in his head. He thinks Triple H was out to get him. He thinks Triple H was trying to bury him on purpose. I'm like, bro, Triple H didn't view you as a megastar. But how come Triple H views Trick Williams as a megastar, but not you? How come Triple H looks at Carmelo Hayes as a top mid-card guy on SmackDown, but not you? So, no, bitch, you cannot call Triple H a racist or all. He was trying to hold me down. He was pushing other white guys. Like, nah, man, fuck you, man. Shut the fuck up. Go back and watch this cringe interview. This guy has an indie mindset mentality in terms of he feels like, oh, I was having great matches on 205 Live. I'm like, so? This man thinks just because he had a great match with Drew Gulak on 205 Live, he deserved a monster push? That's not how that works, bitch. By that same logic, what about Angel Garza? Angel Garza was a bigger star on 205 Live than you. Where was his main event push? Because it's not about the fake pro wrestling. You had no character. All you had was Swerve. That was your nickname that you stole from Big Sean. But that's another story. This man thinks he deserved a monster push just because he was having great matches. Yes, nigga, you can have great matches, but you need a character. If you have no character, if you are shit at promos, Triple H is not going to push you. He don't roll like that. Like I said, this man has an indie mindset mentality, entitlement. Just because you put on great fake pro wrestling matches, you think that you deserve a push over Adam Coleslaw, a prime Adam Coleslaw, Karen Cross, who else? Patrick Clark. They had bigger stars on that roster than you. I think Triple H did right by Isaiah Swerve Scott. I feel like Con Man is pushing a mid-card guy as a main eventer in all elite fake pro wrestling. These are facts. Okay, so here's my counter. You can't say, oh, Triple H dropped the ball on Isaiah Swerve Scott. Okay, at the same time, I can say Tony Khan Man has dropped the ball on Powerhouse Hobbs, bitch. I can say he dropped the ball on Scorpio Sky. I can say he dropped the ball on Ricky Starks. So you cannot turn this into a pissing contest. Tony Khan Man didn't know how to book Ricky Starks. So Shawn Michaels will show him how to book Ricky Starks and vice versa. Maybe Triple H didn't see any star potential in Isaiah Swerve Scott. So maybe Con Man saw potential in Swerve Scott and vice versa. That's how the business works. Not every booker will share the same views.